So I was actually hoping to start this off with a video, but due to technical difficulties, we're waiting on that. So I might pause at one point and start the video I actually made for MMOs. But in the meantime, I am Matt. I am actually a part of a group that does a podcast for MMOs, and I have played MMOs since, gosh, 2004. Somewhere along the lines, and I've done quite a history of online games. Yes?
What did you start with?
My first game was Final Fantasy XI.
Really? I just started playing that again, actually. My first Morphle guy.
Yes? Oh, okay. So yeah, I played that for a good, I want to say a good half a year at least, before everyone I knew kind of went meh on me and quit. So I'm like, okay. Then a friend of mine introduced me to WoW, which I lasted 2 months on.
Yes.
I only paid for 1 month. So yeah, WoW just doesn't thrill me, to be honest. To each their own, but I am not a huge WoW fan. Just saying.
What don't you like about it?
Just very repetitive nature, and to be honest, the one thing I also like in games is the storyline, and there doesn't seem to be much of one at the beginning. It just seems to be a constant barrage of go kill that, go get that.
Actually, that was fairly recently changed with Cataclysm. All of the races do have starting quest lines.
Actually, I tried playing free-to-play version of Cataclysm, and maybe I just missed it or something. I don't know.
The Goblins and the Worms were the first to do that, but in later patches of the day, they actually did add it to the gnomes.
Yeah, I'm not too sure how soon in Cataclysm I tried doing the free-to-play. I just know that one time they went free-to-play, and but my current MMOs right now, sadly, City of Heroes just died on me recently.
Yeah.
I have taken a few of the characters.
Did they take it down?
NCSoft, for whatever reason, unbeknownst to almost all of us, took it down.
I thought it went free to play.
It did go to free play. It was making money.
Did they?
It was in the black and doing successfully well. But for some reason, NCSoft just randomly decided, you know what, let's just stop this game, apparently. And since the beginning of the last quarter, they're essentially the money that the company is worth has gone down to about a third of what it was. So it is taking taking quite a blow for actually canceling City of Heroes, which is quite amusing. But since City of Heroes stopped, I've gone over to Champions. It's sort of similar because it was also created by Cryptic Studios. I also play Anarchy Online. Just recently, the same company, Funcom, recently made their newest game, The Secret World, free to play as well. So that's gotten easier to play with. I've also recently tampered with Rift a little bit, and it seems alright so far. I'm not sure how far I'm going to be getting.
It's gonna go.
Yes?
How is Rift?
How is Rift?
Hi.
Rift, it has very interesting ideas at the very least, because essentially the basic premise is that you, if you go for like the particular side that most of my friends are on, I forget the names of them, but if you go with this kind of renegade side, you are essentially a cloned hero of the distant past, and you are then trained up quickly to remember kind of where you were and try and build you up a little bit before they send you into the past again to try and prevent the world becoming a cataclysm of death and destruction. But while you are going back to the past, there are other rifts opening up from other different dimensions. And there at random times can be literally an entire army swarming the entire area you are in. And they will fight NPCs. The NPCs will actually fight to the death if they have to. I've seen healers die out there. These guys that are supposed to be able to patch you up when you have to resurrect. And seen them actually literally take one to the face and just like, oh wait, they're coming for me next. Bye! Kind of deal. So.
No, I'll let you finish.
But yeah, it definitely has some interesting ideas. The guys who make Rift are always looking to tweak the experience, and there's admittedly still a few tweaks to be made, but definitely also the dimension building. You actually get to make your own little house, if you will, in a sealed off dimension. And you can literally change the size of objects, place them down wherever you want to. I've literally made a tree house. So.
What about Minecraft?
Minecraft? I actually have played a little bit of Minecraft. I don't own Minecraft, so that's why I've only played a little bit of it.
Well, I was laughing in Minecraft, on a server that I was on. I literally took trees, cut them down, shaved the leaves off with the shears, and took 13 by 13 up to the sky, which was later then doubled, which is going to be a hassle to try to get back into. But I took a hollow tree, carved out the top, or built it from scratch with a hollow top, and built a house like that.
And partially,
now, that is a tree house.
Partially, I was referencing that.
But yeah, I've had friends who apparently attempted tree houses themselves and then got attacked by the spiders. And that's quite of a drop when you get tackled like that. So yeah, so actually I'm going to hop off the stage for a moment and see if we can get the laptop going.
Take your pick of audio cable.
But yeah, I can keep talking from here, I believe. Yes.
The only problem you'll see with Rift is you play it for any period of time. Because I played it for the first 7 months. Yeah. It does get very repetitive.
Oh yeah, I've actually noticed a little bit of repetitiveness, but every once in a while they will suddenly throw you a complete and total loophole of a mission, and it's just like, oh, well that's fun.
Really the only thing, the only problem I have is that I don't know if it's any different than when I quit. Pretty much, once you get to the end, that's it. I mean, there's really not a whole lot.
Yeah, that was a complaint of a lot.
And it's the same quest line over and over and over and over. The replayability on it is not very high.
My biggest complaint was when there was rifts. We just started playing like right when it came out. There was just no one around, and you couldn't do anything.
Yeah, it was either if there was nobody there, and I think they fixed that now because after like what 2 hours, it actually goes away.
And then when the overarching mission where you had to do this, otherwise you could not get any quests done. There was no one in the area to help you with, and you can't solo it.
Actually, yeah. Well, I admittedly, my friend Bob tried to start me on the game almost a year ago, I want to say, and both me and my friend Aaron, Aaron is also the one who actually heads the podcast that we do. Both of us were very unenthused when we first tried playing it, and we just kind of got through the opening bits, and we're just like, wow, this is a lot like Lotro, only it's not holding our interest yet. Admittedly, a lot of my friends are actually big Lord of the Rings fans, ergo we love Lotro. And we even had one friend who was sitting there constantly saying, not going to play another fantasy MMO, not playing another fantasy MMO. I've got Age of Conan if I want a fantasy MMO. And then we made him play Lotro because we were going to do the recording there next, and he just went, dang it, you got me by level 20. I got to play for a week, and darn it, you finally got me interested. And so now he's got this dwarven tank that's, I believe, a weaponsmith. So he's constantly trying to figure out how high his armor is going. Oh.
I'm sorry.
I use this laptop so often.
That one, well, I was going to tell you, but I was hoping you figured it out later.
Oh, I figured out on my own soon. Well, the laptop's still loading, so while the laptop continues to load, anything else anyone wants to bring up? Yes.
Have you ever played Cabal?
Ball. I think I've heard of it.
C-A-B-A-L?
I guess I played that. Ragnarok Online. Ragnarok. I know I've heard of it. God, I think I played it at one point. Actually, yeah, I did play at one point. Then the only friend I had on it quit on me again.
What are your thoughts on role-playing within an MMO?
Roleplaying on an MMO, to be honest, for me, it's more of a social activity. Just something to do with a nice group to help pad out the game and do something other than just mission crunching. Just to have a little bit of interesting fun. And matter of fact, one of the things I loved about City Heroes is not only did you have role playing and stuff like that, but they actually had a live radio station with fans who literally made their own online radio station and played while their characters are in the game, and they actually acted like their characters for the radio station, even editing their voices and everything in post for the actual radio show. So I found it very amusing the couple of times I went there. But then again, there are also some really crazy fans for these DJs, and it's just like, okay, what did I see running across? Well, that was brightly colored. Kind of deal. Anything else? Well,
Knights of the Old Republic.
Knights of the Old Republic. I have not touched that. I have a few friends who have, and actually the general reaction was, "Wow, this is like Lotro in space." to be honest, from what I've heard too. So I can't honestly say I've touched it yet. I really would have loved to have gotten my hands on Galaxies before they canned it.
Yeah,
But oh well. Blue Ears. What? That's not an MMO. Yes. Maple Story? I think I tried it at one point. I can't remember when I started playing it. I remember trying to play it at one point on the computers at my tech school, and after a while it's just like, all of a sudden my friends are going, "No, you gotta play this, no, you gotta play that." Okay, no one wants to make it start moving on. Yeah.
Tribal Wars.
Huh? Tribals. Actually, that's another one I haven't touched. I heard number 2 and 3, I think. Or Tribes. No, Tribes. That's what I'm thinking of. Tribals. I'm not sure if I've heard Tribals before. Yeah.
Have you tried Planet Side 2 before?
I have not, but I have seen videos about it, and I've heard that it looks like an okay game, and I also kind of have to smirk at the thought that you can kill your own team.
It happens way too often with vehicles.
I mean, literally, all you have to do is be a sniper in the background, and some teammate you realize is really blowing it a lot, and you just go, "Idiot."
That happens too.
I've had somebody kill me just so he could do what I was doing.
Oh, hey, it's working.
It's like Halo.
Naruto.
I might have came in a little late, but you ever play any of the Final Fantasies?
Final Fantasy XI was my first MMO. And actually I had Final Fantasy 1, if you will, outside of MMOs as one of my first RPGs. I got it when I was like 8 years old, I think.
Little known one. Have you ever played a game called Ica?
Nika.
AIKA?
Can't say I've heard of that one, I'm afraid.
No, but it's that one is very popular.
Yeah. Oh, well, we'll have to think about that in a minute. Apparently the video is ready as long as we can get the projector to work.
Well, I tell you, Bleeding Vista. This is why my desktop has 7.
Aren't you gonna get 8 for it?
This is why my
I
laptop.
have not heard anything about 8, to be honest.
Don't get it. It replaces
This is why my laptop has Linux on it.
Screen
Once you
function.
hit the Windows button, then it takes.
I've been left out alone like a damn criminal. I've been praying for help, 'cause I can't take it all. I'm not done. It's not over. Now I'm fighting this war since the day of the fall, and I'm desperately holding on to it all, but I'm lost. I'm so damn lost.
So yeah, that was the quick video I wanted to get out of the way at the beginning, but yeah, you know, conventions, technical difficulties, that sort of deal. So, anything else someone want to talk about?
I did have a question. Do you ever play EverQuest?
I just started playing original EverQuest.
Oh, you're in for a ride. That game's amazing.
I find the UI to be very different from the norm. Just having to actually talk to NPCs. Literally, you have to click on them, click the H button to say hi to them, and then as they talk to you, they give little hints of stuff you can further talk to them with. And as long as you give them even just a word or even a sentence with the word in it, they will continue to talk to you and eventually lead up to actually getting a quest.
Which I love the fact that EverQuest, the quests are not like common, so there's a lot of level grinding in that game, which I love to do.
Yeah, level grinding actually, because I'm a Dragon Warrior and Final Fantasy fan. Yeah, I'm used to doing a little level grinding here and there.
Well, the thing
not a big thing.
The thing with EverQuest,
EverCrack.
So when you play it for like 5 years, you start calling it EverCrack. But the thing about that game is you can literally level up a character all the way up to max level. Start a new character, level all the way to max level, and not hit the same areas twice. The world is just that.
Yeah. And the funny thing is, I decided to pick up EverQuest a few months after I tried picking up DC Universe. Yeah, I played that for a little while, and then I'm like, when do I stop being a sidekick? Never? Seriously, I have to keep working for the Joker or Batman all damn day? Okay, moving on. But I had like $20 in points left from when I tried doing DC Universe. And when I got into EverQuest, it's like, they're having a sale. So I spent like maybe $2 and I got an extra race in that class.
So you're telling me you didn't use that money to pay off Slenderman?
Didn't use that money to what?
Pay off Slenderman.
No.
Well, you may want to keep a camera on you at all times.
Don't speak of his name.
You keep raising your hand?
Yeah. I like RuneScape, but I'm a little bored with it. Is there any game that has like levels for different skills?
Levels for different skills?
Final Fantasy.
14 has skills.
Oh,
I was an intro on that. I know it's a bit more in depth.
Yeah, fighting skills, level of fighting, smithing skills, level of smithing and stuff.
So like something that will allow you to keep leveling up no matter what you're doing?
Yeah.
Actually there's a couple games, but yeah.
So I'm actually wondering, has anybody heard of the game Darkfall?
I've heard of it.
Yeah, it's in beta right now. It's a full PvP game.
Okay.
Combat is like a first-person shooter. But yeah, actually it's got a lot of crafting stuff, where you can pretty much just play the game leveling up crafting.
I believe there's a couple other games. Even Final Fantasy 11, I believe, you can level up just by sitting in town and crafting non-stop.
Yeah.
You just sit there and just by having melt a few things for cash, you can literally just sit there and just go, okay, I'm going to stay in town, I'm going to keep fishing, I'm going to get this stuff from the item store, from the merchant stores and stuff, and I'll craft this stuff. And as you keep crafting, you keep gaining experience and leveling up. And apparently, some people haven't actually reached endgame just by literally sitting there at the starting town and crafting all day.
There is a World of Warcraft player, because they did incorporate that ability into World of Warcraft. But there is a World of Warcraft player who is known for, he actually has not killed a single creature, not completed a single quest, has only one hit on, like, has only ever attacked one creature at one point ever, and that was an accident. Never changed his gear or anything like that. Leveled up to the max level of the current cap of 90 by gathering, fishing, crafting, and nothing else.
So maybe give the free trial of World of Warcraft a try and see if that's your cup of tea too, apparently, because that also does have a crafting system that allows you to level up. Free to play on that, I believe, is capped at level 20.
Yeah.
But if you like it at level 20, you can go pay to play. So there's always that, I guess, too.
Warcraft seems like to me it's just fighting.
Huh?
Warcraft to me looks like it's just fighting.
A lot of it is. A lot of it is if you want to go that way, but apparently you can do a lot of crafting and stuff and level up that way as well. A lot of games out there actually look like they're nothing but fighting, but you can, some of them you can actually get experience by crafting.
Yeah, I played a trial on Warcraft with this, and the couple times I played for like 20 minutes until
Yeah. It happens.
Check out Darkfall.
But yeah, Darkfall sounds interesting.
Yeah.
I swear I have heard of it.
If you get internet, you should check it out.
I don't have internet here.
Do you know if there's wireless?
That laptop is such a piece of junk, I guarantee you it's not wireless.
There's wireless.
Even if it is, it's this stuff. Again, I have to reiterate the word this stuff. That thing will not work. It'll work for about 5 minutes, then try to find a way to overheat or kill itself. But yeah. Anything else?
No. You said you played Age of Conan. Were you playing it during the patch that broke everything?
No, I wasn't.
No, I ended up quitting just before because like a group of us decided to get it when it just came out.
Oh.
Played through the trial, like 30 days and all that. It was interesting, but didn't have the financial ability to cover that in World of Warcraft and Rift. And
Yeah.
all of them.
No, I have played Age of Conan while it's been free. They obviously fixed the killing the game patch problem. I believe they've also extended how far you can go. You can actually spend, again, you can give Funcom money, you can get points, and you can get the expansions and everything else, which is, again, what they're doing with Secret World. The Secret World, actually, a friend of mine bought the game for me for a month, and I found out a week, 2 weeks ago, that it is now gone so that if you spent any money at all to play the game, you can now play it for free. Until when they get to the final free version in January, then you'll have to pay to get any of the extra issues, as they call their updates. But as it is right now, since the beginning of the game until now, they've added all kinds of things. They've added brass knuckles, they've added chainsaws, along with already having rocket launchers, swords, magic, and a couple of other different weapon types to choose from as well.
What style of MMO is Secret World?
Secret World is actually modern day fantasy, if you will. You are a person who, by random chance, had a creature come up to you in the middle of the night. It took the form of a bee, more or less, and got inside your mouth. The next day, you're literally exploding your living room with magical powers that are beyond your control. A few days later, you're able to at least somewhat control it, and a secret organization of your choice comes up to you and says, "We can help you deal with this thing and train you to understand how to use it better. The world outside kind of needs your help, and we're trying to keep things hush-hush because there was a recent incident in Tokyo where essentially a portal to the old ones kind of opened up and then swallowed an entire subway. It kind of becomes a bother."
So essentially, a man giving into asphyxiation as he's suffocating to death, and these are the dreams that he's dreaming in that course as after choking on a bee.
No, this is actually happening to them.
How do you know?
Otherwise, there wouldn't be much of a plot, and it'd be a very disappointing game.
Donnie Darko?
Yeah.
What's your favorite class to play typically, and also least favorite?
Most favorite and least favorite. Most favorite tends to depend upon my mood that day. If I'm really raging and angry, I'm picking a tank and I'm going in there to crush something. Otherwise, it tends to either be clerics or mages that are on my usual, I'm calmer, I'm ready to actually focus on trying to do something hard mode-esque, if you will. Least favorite class. That's an interesting one. I have to sadly say no one has actually made rogues that good in most games.
You said you just started playing EverQuest?
I played a little bit of EverQuest.
You should try the Rogue in EverQuest. The Rogue in EverQuest is very well done. Because he actually plays a rogue. You're supposed to pick by. It's actually quite necessary for a rogue in most of the
Are you talking about EverQuest 1 or 2?
There's one.
One. So try one rogue. Okay. I still have like $17 sitting around, so yeah, I might actually pick up a rogue.
EverQuest 2 rogue, not that great. EverQuest 1 rogue.
I actually did play EverQuest 2 and I was not thrilled.
EverQuest 2 is terrible. EverQuest 1.
Yep. For some reason my friend Aaron is really into it. Sorry Aaron if you're watching this later. But yeah, I just it never really grabbed me. EverQuest 2. To be honest, it would have been better if they would have just taken the graphics engine from EverQuest 2 and put it into 1.
Yeah.
That would have made it just perfect. It would have the pretty as well as the interesting setup and UI. Just my thoughts, but yeah. Anything else?
Thoughts on the Guild Wars series?
The Guild Wars? That's the online show, right?
No, it's the MMO that you only have to pay for once.
The NCSoft released one, right? Actually, I played one. I liked one. I am actually missing the last expansion for that yet. I've never actually beaten either versions, but any of the version of number 1. But I've played God knows how many hours on it, and I still have friends who are occasionally active on it. So once in a while, I'll pop on. We'll have some fun. I have a warrior cleric, I believe, for number 1. I've not gotten to play 2 yet. 2 I'm very interested in playing. My friend Erin, she cannot stop it. Whenever she has some free time, she is popping on that thing and just playing it to death. She finds any ledge around her and just starts climbing at random, and she kind of gets ticked off when she finds an invisible wall. And she's just like, oh, why didn't they just say this is invisible? Why can't I get up higher? And has to slowly climb back down because it's a long drop and you can die falling. So, I don't know what class she is. I believe she's one of the living plants, though. There's actually a living plant race in that game. They've added a lot of races for number 2 for playable characters. Guild Wars 2. The interesting thing about Guild Wars, in case you didn't hear in the back, you buy the game and you don't have to pay a monthly fee. So it is actually literally free to play as long for the main game that you just bought, as long as you keep going. And more than likely, eventually, though, they'll, like in say a year or 2, they'll probably make an expansion. But it's a really new game. It looks really nice, and again, it's no monthly fee on it, so always worth a look.
Do you know of any recent isometric games that have come out?
Isometric, like
either fake 2.5 or I'm sorry, fake 2D or 2D figures on
looks like a retro game essentially.
If you play Final Fantasy Tactics, how it
Yeah.
has that sort of, it's got the depth because it's at the camera's at an angle. That sort of style in an MMO.
I've heard of a MMO fighting game that's like that, but I can't remember for life of me what it was. If nothing else, one of the few online shows I would recommend is looking up MMO Grinder. He does a great show where he goes into detail both. The main show is mostly about free-to-play games, but he also does have side stuff where he actually goes into pay-per-month games. And he tends to give if he has to, he'll give it a brutal, honest review. Like, he recently, not too many months ago, he did do Maple Story, and yeah.
I submitted a ticket last December, and about a month ago I finally got a reply. And it was about a December specific.
Well, he had major issues with that, stuff like that, and then there was also the fact that a lot of the audience seems to be obnoxious.
They're like 12-year-old horny boys is generally what, like if you have a female avatar, maybe your boyfriend, are you looking for a boyfriend?
Yeah. And since MMO Grinder has a particular character he loves copying over from WoW, he was probably very depressed by that. So.
In response to the question about the isometric view, what's your name? Costume, you asked the question about the isometric view.
Yeah,
there's a game called Syken, spelled S-E-Y-K-E-N. It's like kind of like an 8-bit MMO. So it's kind of interesting, but it's got like a lot of
spell it?
So it's SEYKEN.
Alright. In the back. Elder Scrolls Online. I don't have Skyrim yet, much to my chagrin. I did get to play about 15 minutes of it, but I do have Oblivion. I love Oblivion. And MMO, I don't know what to really think about that just yet. I'll have to wait. Oh. Well, actually, yeah, after all the crafting I keep hearing about Skyrim, yes. Actually, the Elder Scrolls MMO will probably be something heftily into crafting, and probably almost to the point of leveling up, I would hope. But we'll have to wait and see when it comes out. I have hopes for it, but I can't say I have extremely high hopes because I know, especially any new MMO, they tend to get dashed a little. But it might pick itself up again later on, you never know. Yes?
Rumbling Hearts. I think it's by Perfect World Entertainment.
Rusty Hearts?
Sorry.
Rusty Hearts. I've not played it, but I have seen the MMO grinder video of it. He really likes it. So.
For Elder Scrolls Online, I mean, if you really like what they do with the games graphically, don't get your hopes up. They went with more of a realistic, but more towards cartoony also. So that's what I thought.
Yeah.
Yeah, they tried to do it closely. They couldn't run that graphics on there. Yeah. Because they wouldn't be able to run, like, not everybody wants to play it. They use those graphics engines for PC and remote. Because you're going to spend like $3,000 on two graphics cards.
The way Rift does graphics is phenomenal. They have really intricate details on the higher settings, but you can turn it down, turn off all the extra effects, and you can still get a pretty good visual effect from the game. It's still on par, if not better than World of Warcraft that high.
Yeah, I will say that Rift and Secret World are probably the two prettiest looking MMOs I've ever seen in my life. Rift probably has a little more shine than Secret World, but Secret World, it's a Funcom game. They'll polish it eventually. They're too worried right now about updating Anarchy Online. They put it to you this way: Anarchy Online looks as old, if not older, than EverQuest, and actually used to have the same talk to the NPCs UI setting that EverQuest still has. But since they've done things like Age of Conan, which is also another very pretty game, they actually plan to upgrade to a better version of that graphics system, which I believe they are now using for the Secret World. So when they finally get it done, which they plan to do sometime early this next year, it's going to be a gorgeous little sci-fi MMO.
Yeah. Is there any MMO that you've been disappointed with? Like,
see, I was a Warcraft fan before WoW. Even 3 was a little but I loved 1 and 2. I still play 2. I still have a friend that I've known since middle school that plays Warcraft 2 with me via the internet. So yeah, we still have fun on that. WoW, I just kind of went, oh wow, so they're going to have this huge expansive world and it'll be just like actually being inside the buildings inside of Warcraft 2. No, not really. Oh well. I had hopes.
Another part of the problem is a lot of the storyline is endgame, like in the original one, level 60.
Yeah, that was what I was actually worried about.
The big raids and things like that, that's where all the bigger storylines develop, and that's where you make the bigger impacts in game.
See, that's why they need to raise the level cap in that game, because you can reach level 20 literally before you're even out of the first area. Mm-hmm. And you don't get to see any of the actual real exciting stuff that you could be possibly doing. If they allow you to go at least that far, then they might actually get a lot more people, I would think. Because that would be the make or break it point. Yeah.
Blizzard hasn't canned. There's people making a WoW free server called that's supposed to be vanilla cap, like level 60 is a cap, 12 point or 1.12 points, whatever the last thing was for it. It's supposed to be really interesting, and Blizzard has said nothing to them because it doesn't compete with the market who want to stay on the like cutting edge content.
So, because it's such an obscure thing, Blizzard just kind of goes,
Yeah, unlike WoWscape, which those people were standing.
yeah. Okay, that might be such an interesting point.
And another interesting fact is, what I remember you telling me, when Blizzard comes out with a new MMO that they're working on, World of Warcraft will become free to play.
Blizzard's claiming they're going to do that.
Yeah, Blizzard has claimed a lot of things. They also claim to give us StarCraft Ghost.
They're also saying if they do that, they're going to have the best armor. Once WoW goes free to play, the best armor in the game you will have to pay to get. So it will become pay to win once it goes free to play.
This is about the point I want to throw down the microphone, because no, you shouldn't be treating a game like that.
Well, it's Blizzard. They haven't done anything good since Activision bought them.
Yeah, Activision. Actually, how much time do we have left? I'm
6:44.
15 minutes.
15 minutes, so we got at least 5 minutes. 5 minutes, thereabouts.
It's alright if I make an announcement?
Sure.
So Darkfall just went into beta last week, and I've been playing it the past few days, and it's a lot of fun. So if any of you guys are interested in checking it out, I did bring my computer. I'm gonna try to set it up in like the gaming room, or if not, maybe in the hallway. The only thing is I need like a good internet connection. So I haven't had a chance to take a look, but yeah. So if you see me and want to check out the game, they don't have anything.
Is there an MMO that you like the look of the armor or weapons more than others?
No, I like the look of the weapon or armor more than others. I miss you, heroes. No, literally, you could go from anywhere from extreme sci-fi to medieval fantasy, and it all looked gorgeous. And they continue to actually keep polishing the graphics every 3 to 4 years. They came up with a freaking ultra mode, so there'd be reflections of the city in your armor and stuff like that. What? Okay.
Whatever color was interfering with it, it actually had an effect instead of this like shadow and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah. They are slowly trying to tweak that sort of stuff out. Yeah, they are really trying to set up the graphics these days. Okay. Actually, one game that I was very disappointed in, but looked absolutely gorgeous, was APB Reloaded. It looks gorgeous. You could spend hours literally retweaking. I actually had a guy that looked like me. My friend came onto that game, saw me, and went, "What the hell is that?" It's just literally me with a bandana, sunglasses on, running by, and I even have my name on my shirt. And she's just like, "What the hell? How did you?" Kind of a moment, and it's just like, yeah, I spent a while.
Going off that, do you prefer being able to customize characters to that degree constantly, or do you only like it once in a while?
I love being able to tweak out customization. Even Anarchy Online, they actually have a social tab, so you can actually put on clothes over your armor. And especially since the game has the worst, ugliest helmets I've ever seen in my life, it is so worth it to have the social panel. Because then you can just put on this crazy outfit. As a matter of fact, one of my friends likes to have this rather suede-looking guy in a nice tux and everything. And he just kind of goes around with a little pistol and kills guys. But he's also been tweaking that character for years. He's never reached endgame. Which is actually another thing I don't see very often in MMOs, is that Anarchy Online has to have the highest level cap I've ever seen.
Which one?
Anarchy Online has the highest level cap I've ever seen. Even in free-to-play, you can reach 200.
I think of all
I don't know, because Ragnarok
256.
Online was 99, reset 150.
The level cap for free to play in Anarchy Online is 200. There's actually, I believe, somewhere around 250, 260 if you are a paid player for Anarchy
I know
Online.
for all free to play
So,
256.
and it's not even just about leveling up with extreme high amount. There's literally different sets of different abilities you constantly need to keep an eye on and tweak out as you level up. And I believe his martial artist is somewhere around 150, 200, and he is still yet to decide I'm going to reach endgame with him yet. Despite having started playing the game literally months after it came out.
Have you heard of, these are two different MMOs that the betas were amazing, but one cat canceled, the other one switched developers into this piece of crap, Mythos. It was originally going to be a Diablo 2 MMO style game, and it was amazing. And then the people who made Hellgate London made it, and they failed, and it went to Korea, and now it's a piece of crap. But also Insurgent Gate.
Mythos, that sounds very familiar. I can't say I've ever played it. Hellgate London I've actually played, and it was fun for a while, and then I realized there's all kinds of locked gates and stuff, and you have to pull a lot of strings for a free player to get through. It's just like, really?
But the other game was Insurgent Gate.
Did you raise your hand?
Yeah. Have you seen the beta for Overgrowth at all?
Overgrowth.
Overgrowth is right now it's a free-to-play beta, and it's going to be a platformer fighting game. That's an indie creation studio. They've been working on it for 3 years, and right now it's just a sandbox-style game where you can create your own levels. But the interesting thing about it is it's a hand-to-hand weapon fighting game where instead of taking damage over time, it's actually based on a critical skeletal structure. So if you actually can get your aiming right, run up and punch him in the neck, it's an instant kill. The fighting in it is extremely fast, and I mean fast. 2 or 3 punches, that's it. Something's dead.
Interesting. And I will note that for upcoming games, I've also heard about Neverwinter Nights.
Neverwinter Nights 2 was actually pretty good. I played a bit of it.
See, the thing is that, and I found out from big fans of Neverwinter, is that Neverwinter 2 didn't do as well as number 1 because they made it too difficult to mod. The thing about number 1 is that they could mod the hell out of it. They could make new skins, they could update the graphics, they could do everything with that thing. And the developers just went, here, do whatever you want with it now. You got all the tools you need to do whatever you want, just keep buying our game. But Neverwinter 2, because of some odd complaints, apparently there was a few nude skins that got out for some specific stories. They went, yeah, we're going to make that extremely hard to change now. Which actually drew a lot of people away from it because they wanted to make the really over-shiny armor and weapons and all that other stuff. But apparently I've also heard rumored that they still managed to do it anyways. Well, so much for that, but...
If it's a program, you have a programmer, they're going to get it done.
They're going to do it one way or another, yeah, essentially. But Neverwinter Nights MMO, it's definitely not going to appeal to the same crowd, I'm pretty sure. But
I would think it'd have a similar feel to like the Dungeons and Dragons MMO because they're based off of basically the same thing.
And also the other thing I would mention is that Cryptic is behind this one, which means sure early gameplay may be a little but the ability to tweak out the appearance of your characters should be through the roof. Both Sea Heroes and Champions Online have a lot of costume tweaking, a lot of color swaps and changes, and all these other little things you can change to make your character completely stand out from everyone else. I've seen like 3 different versions of Slender Man running around Champions Online. Believe me, they're out there. You can do a lot of different stuff, even with the same idea.
Now, I can't believe we haven't really talked about this yet, but what do you play as in TF2?
Huh?
TF2.
What do I play as on Team Fortress 2? Actually, my favorite to usually do is the Pyro, just so I could hear the insane banter and mumbling from him. But I find myself more often than not actually having to play a medic. if it's not medic, then I definitely want to play an engineer because just seeing people die to my rockets, the explosive mess that just fills the room.
Knocking people off the edge with an air blast, that's always a classic.
But yeah, literally the first time I played a engineer, it was I believe like I capture a flag or something, and I set up a little base, so teleport here and teleport outside so my team could come in if they needed to, and then I set up a missile in the only tiny corridor path that people could get through, and set up right behind that with the machine for ammo and healing. I just sat there the entire level, and I literally heard angry rants over microphones going, what the heck is this? It's like my first day of playing an engineer. I win. But with that, I think it's about time to call it, so thank you all for coming, thank you all for helping out the panel, and enjoy the rest of your weekend.
Merry Christmas.